Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. In today's video, I am demonstrating how I like to do makeup for a model test. The reason I wanted to do this video for you is because a lot of makeup artists end up doing jobs for model testing. It's something that is really common in our industry. When you're first starting out, it is actually a really great way to network with photographers, and it's a great way to get your makeup on agency represented models. When you are starting out in your career, that is a goal that you do want to achieve. You want to have photos in your portfolio of agency represented models. Without getting too much into the specifics of the business side of model testing, that's not what this is about. That would be something I would cover off in a different video. This is really just about makeup application for a model test. I do want to explain to you a little bit about how model testing works so you can understand why I do the type of makeup that I do for these tests. Model testing can also be known as power testing, where you're going to be doing this makeup on multiple models very quickly in one day. So let me explain to you very briefly how it kind of works and how it's structured. What happens is a modeling agency will have a big chunk of models that need photos for their portfolio. Quite often these are new models. The modeling agency will contact a photographer and will say, I have a bunch of models that need photos for their portfolio. The modeling agencies need to be able to advertise their models to clients, so they need photos of the models. The photographer will then hire a makeup artist for this type of work. Model testing can be both paid and unpaid. I'm not going to be answering any specific questions about the business side of model testing. This is really about what to think about when you're doing makeup for model testing. The thing with model testing is that the modeling agencies need to have photos of the models that they can actually use for their portfolio. This is not the time to do crazy makeup. This is not the time to do really exaggerated looks. It is a time to make the model look as he or she does in real life. It's not a time to completely change their face. When clients go to modeling agencies to book models, they choose the model based on what they look like. Transforming a model for a model test is not going to benefit the agency, and you want to make sure that as a makeup artist, you have a really good relationship with modeling agencies and with photographers. This is going to help you in the long run. When you have a model in front of you for a model test, a lot of times you're going to be doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 models in a day. I've done 15 and 20 models in the day. So you have a very short time to get them looking camera ready. So oftentimes with model testing, that's really all you need to do. Get them looking like a polished, a little bit more enhanced version of themselves and bring out their best features. So if they have beautiful cheekbones, you're going to emphasize that. If they have great brows, you want to emphasize that as well. The other thing is that certain photographers may want to do a really clean beauty look, and then they may have time, or they may ask you to do a second look where you kind of switch up the makeup a little bit, and you guys can collaborate on that on set and produce an image that is really beautiful, that makes the model look like the best version of herself, and it's going to be something that the modeling agency is happy with. Okay, that was, I'm sure, a lot of information for the beginning of a makeup tutorial, but I want you to have this information so if you get approached to do makeup for a model testing, you know what to expect. So let's take a look at how I would do Jada's makeup for a model test if I had a really short amount of time. I want to run over with you quickly my thought process when I have a model in my chair for a model test, and how I determine what look I'm going to do on them, especially when I am crunched for time. With Jada, right away I can see that she has beautiful skin, so this is going to be the focal point of the look. I want to make sure on camera her skin looks as good as possible, so really dewy, really youthful finish is what I'm going to be going for with this look. The other great thing about Jada is that she has a nice natural pigment to her lips, so I know I'm going to save time there. I won't have to select and apply a lip color, and I can probably get away with a lip gloss or a tinted lip balm. In terms of perfecting her complexion, I'm going to neutralize some of the discoloration just under the eye and across the eyelid, just to ensure that the look is really bright and fresh. I'm going to just lightly fill in her brows. She is blonde, so I don't want anything that is too overpowering. And we're going to give her face a little bit more definition with the foundation application. Jada came to set with no makeup on, which is amazing. I don't need to spend any time removing makeup. I'm going to prep her skin with Skin Food. This is a very thick, heavy moisturizer. Because this is a model test, I'm not really concerned with the longevity of the makeup, and I do want her skin looking as fresh as possible. This product leaves a little bit of residue on the skin that reads on camera as a dewy finish. So when we layer the Face Atelier foundation over this product and we use minimal powder, it's a beautiful effect on camera. Don't forget to prep the lips. You want to give your lip balm time to sink in before you get to your lipstick or lip gloss application. Let's get right to the foundation application. I'm using Face Atelier. I'm using the technique that I talked about in my last two videos where I buff the foundation on. I use a couple different shades. I'm using a lighter shade down the center of the face and a deeper shade just on the perimeter of the face to create that definition. And I'm customizing the foundation as I go so her skin looks perfect and flawless. You can see I'm doing this makeup application quite quickly. It's very important that you do work quickly when you are doing a model test. The other thing you need to pay attention to is how much coverage your foundation is giving you. The great thing about Face Atelier is that it does give a nice coverage while still looking natural. So this will minimize the amount of concealer and corrector that I have to use, which saves a lot of time. I'm mixing a little bit of concealer on my palette with Mid Peach Corrector. I'm applying the tiniest amount just under the eye to neutralize any of the discoloration. I'm going to take the same combination of concealer and corrector and use it on the face just where she needs it. So under the eye, maybe around the nose. And if there is anything else on her face that needs to be corrected, I'll use this combination of products for that, only concealing where I need it. I like to use my finger to push in the product, especially when I'm trying to achieve a natural look. I don't want anything settling into lines on her face. I took a look at Jada's skin and wanted to define it a little bit more, so I'm taking a smaller brush and applying Face Atelier in number 6 just around the perimeter of her face and into the contours of her cheek. This look is all about healthy skin, so very little powder is required. I'm just using powder to set the concealer and just to set the foundation around the nose and down the T-zone. I want her skin to look dewy, but I don't want it to get oily while she's on set. I'm smoothing out the foundation that has creased on her eyelid. I don't think I have time to apply a shadow, so I'm just going to even out the foundation and set it with translucent powder. Sometimes this is all you need for a clean beauty look. Before I move on to filling in the brows, I'm going to brush out any excess product in the brows with a disposable mascara wand. Prep the brows with a brow primer. I love this one because it's a great base for brow powder and it gives me a little bit of control as well. I love to use brow powder. I find I can get it on really quickly and it does look very natural on camera. A technique that I would recommend trying, I use my angle brush and I start to apply the powder to the brow in the center of the brow. I want to keep the brow looking natural. I don't want any hard edges and I don't want the brow to be very angular. So I will start the application of the powder in the center of the brow and work outwards. Just to be sure the brows are looking as natural as possible, I'm using that same brush that I used for translucent powder, and I'm just making sure to soften all of the edges of the brow. I do not want any hard edges at all for this look, and I'm going to set it all into place with a little bit of brow gel. Moving down the face to the cheeks, I'm using a cream blush. If you recall, we didn't set the entire foundation with a powder, so that cream blush is going to be really easy for me to apply, and I want to stay with cream products on her skin so we don't kill any of that glow that we've created already with the Skin Food and the Face Atelier foundation. I like to apply my cream blush with a small brush first and then blend it out with a larger brush so it looks more like a flushed cheek. I want to really bump up her complexion. I'm using the Benefit Watts Up highlighter, which is a creamy highlighter, trying to stay away from powdering the skin. I still want to keep it really youthful and healthy looking, especially when you don't have time for a lot of complexion work or eyeshadow. You can use a cream highlighter like the Benefit Watts Up on the eyelid and on the cheek, and it reads really beautifully on camera and just gives the skin that extra boost. I took a look at Jada's skin and I want to bump up that highlight and that cheek color even more. And then I'm going to take a combination of the cream blush and the cream highlighter and apply it to just the top of her cheekbones. Using these two products in combination is a great trick to use when you are crunched for time and you really need to have a cheek with a little bit more color and a little bit more glow. This combination of products works really well for that. Finishing the look off with a little bit of mascara, and of course always using a disposable mascara wand for your mascara application. Because Jada's hair is very light, I am taking a fan brush and I'm making sure there is no gap between her lash and the eyelid. So a fan brush is great to go in there, especially when you have a model that has really light lashes. You can make sure that mascara gets right to the base of the lash. We need to finish off this look and give it some balance with a lip color. Jada's got a lot of pigment in her lips already, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream mixed with the RCMA cheek color that we already used. This mixture of products photographs almost as a tinted lip balm, and that's all we need for something like this. And it's really fast to apply. Here's Jada's final look. Let's take a look at her before and after. You can see that she really just looks like an enhanced version of herself. If I had more time to create this look, I would probably spend a little bit more time refining her brows. Her eyes are this really beautiful blue color, and because they're deep set, I wouldn't do a ton of shadow, but I may do just a light wash of a warm colored nude shadow just to bring out her eyes even more. I think her skin and cheeks look great, and because her lips are already so full, I would keep them just as they are. This video on how to do makeup for a model test, this was just a very simple makeup application. This is something that I can do very quickly if I have 10 or 15 models in my chair in a day. You can enhance this a little bit more. Sometimes I'll do more of that clean beauty look that you are familiar with from my Instagram, where I just give more of that nude shadow and I enhance the features a little bit more and add a little bit more glow to the skin. If that is what the agency wants from me, that's what I'll do. Other times they will produce a mood board of the inspiration for hair and makeup, and I will follow that. The main thing that you have to remember is that the photos that you are producing need to work for the modeling agencies. It's very important, and it's really important that they have great photos of their models. So try to just enhance the natural beauty of the model that you're working with. I cannot stress this enough. Something else that is really important for you to understand, you cannot alter your models in any way. If they have fuller brows, you cannot bleach them unless you have permission from the modeling agency. Even if you want to tweeze a couple hairs in the brow, you do need to make sure that you have permission to do this first. Just because you think something needs to be fixed on a model, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is a real concern from the agency, and you don't know how they're going to be marketing their models. So plucking brows, changing brow color, doing anything that is going to alter how the model looks in real life, you need to have permission from the modeling agencies before you can do this. And even if the photographer says it's okay, you really need to make sure that this has been cleared with the modeling agency. So please remember to do that when you are working with these models. Their face is their livelihood. Just as our kits are really important to us and you don't want anybody messing with them, do not do anything that could ruin their face, ruin their skin, ruin their hair. You have to be very considerate that models make their living based off of how they look. So definitely respect that when you are working on a model test or anything when you are working with models. Respect that this is their livelihood. They need to look a certain way. Their look is what is going to make them money, and this is the career that they've chosen. Keep this in mind too with the skincare that you're using. Don't get into doing crazy masks and scrubs and, trimming hair if you're not a hairstylist, and plucking brows and bleaching brows. All of this has to be cleared with the agency first. I hope this video was helpful for you, and of course we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Bye everybody.